You can't even in the passing game. We got to get into a phase of Ty Simpson understanding his pocket awareness. His clock needs to speed up, or if he's going to fade back, he has to fade at an angle to give him that advantage. You got to suck some way. You got to make the second level move. And so when you're going straight back, they're not moving. They're going to stay. They're going to come close to the line of scrimmage more than anything. But you start getting outside the pocket, they naturally have to move to mirror. So we're looking at it, man. When it looks at the advantage, man, I'm not going to say that Ryan Grubb has the advantage, but I think there's something to look at when you talk about extension of the run game. Let me get a few comments before we go into our call-in segment, y'all, here at the 57-minute mark. Let me get a few comments. Talent on team doesn't make them better. It doesn't necessarily make them better, but we're talking about the playoffs now. This is not question time period. We've seen product on field. Both of these teams are talented. And if you really look at the talent on field, are you telling me that you believe that Indiana wide receivers match up and are just as talented as Alabama's wide receivers? Indiana's defensive backs match up across the board and are just as talented as Alabama's defensive backs. Same thing for any position. I think when you look at it and you just look at overall product of the player, the talent of the player, not how they fit in the scheme, but the talent of a player, I think Alabama has that advantage. And as far as the depth. Oh, Wayne Haynes, I'm sorry. What Wayne Haynes said. Ohio State has just as much talent as Bama. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Ohio State lost a lot of key guys and a lot of production from last year. They started a lot of freshmen, a lot of new faces. Not freshmen, but new faces. Lack of experience. That Indiana game, the reason why they matched up well is a lack of execution. Ohio State had opportunities to put Indiana away. Like I said, Indiana just played discipline. So when you miss on opportunities, they capitalize. They play discipline. There was definitely a decisive talent gap, though. It wasn't like Indiana just handled Ohio State. Ohio State at their best this year isn't better than ours. I don't think so. I know he's an Indiana supporter. In your opinion, how does the rain affect our offensive production? I'll answer this question, then we'll go to our calling segment. We got to remember, and I think that was going to be a topic, but I'm gonna touch it since you asked a question. Give him a hand clap for a good question tonight. We get a hand clap. Give him applause for that one, Jordan. Good question tonight there, Dalton. I want to kind of open that up and put that in the phone topics of conversation tonight too, but I'm gonna answer it here. When you think about California rain, and this I might just be crazy. When I think about California rain, it's not like the South. It's not like Louisiana. It's not like Alabama, Texas either. Texas gets some nasty rain, but California rain is different. And looking at the forecast, if it's going to be a steady rain, I think it doesn't affect you as the on-off rain, the overcast. I think that's what affects you. When you are playing in the rain, there's a certain level, you gain friction when, wet touches wet with leather. You gain a certain level of friction. Now, I don't think wide receivers should be out there with gloves at that point. If anything, the wet tape always helped me. Wet tape on the fingertips. I always wore wet tape on, my three fingers, my three middle fingers, the index, middle finger, and the ring finger, when it rained. That was just, to provide a little bit of padding more so than anything. It was easier to keep your hands, keep the tape from getting as wet as you would with the towels and the gloves.